Moon Club podcast number 228, YouTube version. Main podcast will start in about, what, 8 minutes?
I will give you the DL at the real podcast. We'll start in exactly 7.
I say the main podcast because this is still a real podcast.
Right. Well, I say fake just because I was trying to be obstinate.
Okay. I'll allow it. Hey, no,
think
I
this
said
is
I'd allow
real.
it, dude.
No, I mean, I do think it's real.
Dude,
Okay.
what the fuck did I do with my drink?
Here, is this it?
Oh, yeah.
That ain't gonna last you very long.
You could probably just
I'm gonna get a
put some
refresher.
Crown in there,
Me and Mike, hang back with the boys, not back some tacos.
All right, YouTube version is going. We'll start Facebook right at 6, and we'll start recording the Apple Podcast version. This is supposed to go to like Spotify and a bunch of other services too.
That sounds cool.
Moon Club Podcast number 228. Apple Podcast and many other podcast site version is live. I'll probably cut this part out of the main audio anyway, but the main podcast will start in about 6 minutes.
6 minutes. 6 minutes. 6 minutes, AJ, the show.
Shut, let go.
What's the better song? 6 minutes Dougie Fresh or 5 minutes of funk?
Did
5
I tell
minutes
you
of
guys that I have a fart that smells exactly like a delicious egg sandwich?
I'm going to say no. For me, no. I don't know. Steve knows about it.
Unfortunately, I heard the story and I will
Trying
never
to
eat
forget
egg
it?
sandwiches again. I've heard of a beef stew.
Are you, Austin, are you going to start off with some wacky story again today?
Well, let me tell you about the time I made my friend Tim Mills puke.
Well, hold on. We got to wait. We're not going to start here for about another 6 minutes.
Okay. An anecdote, if you will. And you know what?
So wait, are we doing that and then we go into J Mecca?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe we can hand out a money to my favorite anecdote. I'm gonna vote for the one with the trannies in Brazil.
You have the
You have
Google
it.
Doc, right?
Google Doc. Yeah, I think we all do, right?
Yeah, we should all have access to it.
Yeah.
So my thing is, and this is fine if he wants to give a Mooney to his own anecdotes,
Yeah.
which there will be the second one today.
You know
I
what?
mean, if he just wants to walk around
Yeah, it's like I guess I'm just like giving myself awards.
Well, I nominated myself for the best impression. Now, you guys can still nominate yourselves, or
You
if
can
somebody
vote.
else did.
You guys can vote too.
But I'm pretty
Let's-
sure I did my Dr. Phil at some point
Let's
this year.
do
right?
your Dr. Phil against my baby.
What's your baby? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a steep one for me.
Yeah, you got a hell of a climb, my friend.
I don't know, man. Just a generic baby though. Like your baby doesn't have a name.
Keep that damn
I'm
baby
pretty
out
sure
the street.
that I have predictions from last year in my Google Docs.
Dude, how about this? What if I did? This could be the bit. This could be the meme. Baby born speaking says, "I am John Wayne," and then here we cut to the audio.
That
That's
should
a
be
stretch.
it.
It's the first thing that came out. That's when the baby said, like, "Look,
Yeah, I've got our predictions from last year.
I'm fucking John Wayne."
Our predictions from last year right here.
Cool.
We can read these on the Thursday show.
Oh, we actually wrote them down, huh?
Yeah. Bailey. Bailey.
Dude, was
Oh, was that Matisse Love? Was that when she was on?
okay. Yeah,
Is her name Bailey?
yeah. Was it Mindy Sue on that one too?
Yeah. Mindy says.
That was a good show. Mindy Sue, when she heard Bailey sing, she said, "That's the best thing I've ever heard on the
Mindy
podcast."
said continued rise of legalized marijuana. Okay. Rise of Instagram and Facebook. You'll see more and more sophistication in health apps. I said Cardinals will win the World Series. No. Saints will win the Super Bowl. No. Biden versus Trump. Trump wins. Well, no. And I'd be the number one realtor in Bloomington. So I got that one.
Right.
And he could be
Where
your
am I?
own-
Am I on there?
You said put a lot of laws to govern AI. ET reveals themselves. Quantum supremacy will make quantum computers will be mainstream. No more hard drives on mobile devices. Rise of electric vehicles over gas powered 10%, and rise of esports.
I would say the last two maybe, but everything else is kind of off. but I'll probably do
Well,
the
I
same
got a
predictions
story
this year.
about, we have figured out, quantum, what is it?
Entanglement?
No,
You know what's scary?
quantum teleportation.
Oh yeah, yeah, I read that story. Yeah, and they're doing like neutrons or something, right? Which I mean is a huge advancement. They can actually teleport.
Steve was gonna say something.
They can actually teleport matter. Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, it's okay.
Up in there.
I was, you know what?
To the quantum computer conversation.
Oh, I thought you were, had been, you said hop in there is what you said. Well, what I was gonna say is we're so quick to, develop AI, and do you realize that once you get a computer that can actually do the thinking, how many people are working from home right now aren't gonna be working from home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, you know, and that goes into where the government just starts giving us checks every year just to survive.
Do you
or
think
every
they will?
month.
Or do you think there'll be more viruses?
We
wiping
will
out
be, at that point, we will be expendable.
Right. So,
We will just be meat bags that aren't necessary.
can we?
I got 559.
It's like, can we escape?
All right, when we go live, am I playing J Mecca, or are you just gonna go to your antic right away?
I'll go to my anecdote.
Okay.
Dude, can we escape our technological adolescence? I think is what Jodie Foster had said, and she
Boom.
said it best. You know what I'm saying?
Let me know when it's 6 o'clock. Let me know.
Are you letting them know also?
Yeah. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it, man.
Well, I just didn't want to be the one to have all that pressure on me at the time.
No.
And don't say like we're going live right now, because it's gonna ruin my.
Okay. No, I'm letting you fly. This
Okay,
is your baby.
You can roll with it. Did I tell you guys about the time that I made my buddy Tim Mills puke?
No.
I never heard that.
I haven't heard that story.
Remember, did I tell you guys that I have a fart that smells exactly like a nice egg sandwich with like cheese and the toasted bread? It smells just like that.
I wasn't aware of that either.
But anyway, so it's like I had these farts, and I was like walking into the living room, and I told my buddy Tim Mills, and like I did one of those farts, and I like wafted it at him, and I said, "Dude, I made you a egg sandwich out in the kitchen." He goes, "Oh man, I'm hungry as fuck. That sounds good." So he goes in there, and it's like he's looking around, he doesn't see an egg sandwich, and he's like, he looks at me, and I start laughing. Then he starts. I was like, "I can still make you an egg sandwich," and he's like, "No, dude, I'll never eat another egg sandwich again." Tell me when we go live.
We're live.
I didn't want to-
For a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. 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 Don't tell that tongue liar. Don't tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him the God's gonna cut him down. Tell him the God's gonna cut him down. Well, my goodness gracious, let me tell you the news. My head's been wet with the midnight dew. I've been down on bended knee, talking to the man from Galilee. He spoke to me in a voice so sweet. I thought I heard the shuffle of angels' feet. He called my name and my heart stood still when he said, "Jay, go to my will. Don't tell that tongue liar. Don't tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him the God's gonna cut him down. You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. You may throw your rock and hide your hand, working in the dark against your fellow man. But as sure as God made black and white, what's done in the dark will be brought to the light. You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Don't tell that tongue liar. Don't tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him the God's gonna cut you down. Tell him the God's gonna cut you down. You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Yeah. This is just too much substance. I broke through the chains of the way with the substance. You can make a scene, but to me, it's nothing. You never match with a breakthrough in fashion. I'll resist the fabric and bring it back surely. See you on the shore, you repping the wrong jersey. Nah, I mean, they on the wrong team. Paper chasing, screaming out cream. Lord deliver us, you know I ain't giving up. They just wanna live it up on scratch-offs and 50 bucks. Praise to the silly luck, I gotta keep it 100. Run it, clean how I done it. Get it, I operate like City Hall. Gotta put my city on. Didn't fit the first time, but I've been growing into it. They all getting giddy gone, it's hard to say I pity y'all. I'm too busy nodding, rather not respond to kitty calls. Up and get your quickie on. Watch what you slipping on, girl, what you sipping on. Dog, what you barking about. I'd rather be penniless, making plenty sense. You living in a glass house, high rent, solo. I do it on my own, no YOLO. I never get cut, Kodo, for sure though. Pardon me, my God, I'm calling on them all. Can't stop, I gotta tell them all. You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta put you down. Sooner or later, gotta put you down. Don't tell that long-tongue liar. Don't tell that midnight rider. Tell the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him the guy who's gonna cut you down.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from MJ's Lost Music Department, this is the Moon Club Podcast with MJ, and SJ. The Moon Club will talk about... Come on, let's do that over. And let's do that. And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from MJ's Lost Music Department and worldwide on Facebook and YouTube Live, this is the Moon Club Podcast with AJ, MJ, and SJ. The Moon Club will talk about anything other than moon, no subject will ever be taboo. This episode of the Moon Club Podcast is brought to you by our realtor, MJ Adelman, Bloomington, Normo's premier realtor for the Jewett Home Selling Team at Remax Rising. And I want to be your realtor, and I will out-hustle everybody all day, every day, and then double up on Sunday to prove it.
True that.
What's the state of the moon, brother?
You know what? It is a special night as far as the moon goes. Let me explain it. It is currently Tuesday, December 29th, 2020. It is 6:05 p.m. The moon came up at 4:15 p.m. and it goes down at 7:53 tomorrow. It is a full moon tonight. It is 100% illuminated. It is 393,693 kilometers away from us. It is 15 days old. It's going in from Gemini to I think Capricorn tonight. Whatever the fuck that means. But beautiful moon. Get out there and see it, especially if it's clear where you are at.
Are you saying that this moon is fully illuminated?
It's fully illuminated. What else?
Leads me to my next question is, how illuminated is Steve?
You know, I am fully illuminated, and I came up at 4:20 thanks to Ain't One from Bedford Farms, Bedford Growers. Let me reiterate that. Bedford Growers, Ain't One. Get there, get it, get high.
And that's how you cut a promo.
Right. And Steve does get high on his own supply.
You know, I always do. I always do.
And he always is
Got a lot of action tonight.
also...
Baby, how you feeling?
Oh, I was feeling good as hell.
That's all I got of that. I don't have the rest of it.
Well, you know, when that's quite a lot, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Good as hell.
Yeah. My other favorite drop is this one.
Teeth out when you sucking my dick, ho.
Right? Dude, remember, I remember
Take them teeth out when you sucking my dick, ho.
when I first got a computer back in like 96, we would download these like little sound bites from like The Simpsons and shit. And we thought that was fucking great, just to be able to go to the computer and like listen to this. It's like, you know, it's Homer going, "Go!" or downloading just like pictures. And it was great. It
Yeah,
was great.
like in the early days of computers, they were great for. I remember I was going to ISU, so this must have been like 90. It was
I would say 95.
something like that. So, and then they gave us an email. I'm like, oh, you have an email address? I'm like, I'm never gonna use that. That's fucking stupid.
Right. Yeah.
Like, what am I gonna use that for? I've got regular mail. I don't need email. You know.
Electronic mail.
Yeah.
Right. And this is just in our lifetime, you know?
Yeah.
What about all
Yeah.
those crazy ringtones, you know, speaking of? What was your
Right,
wackest
right.
ringtone you ever had?
I had the Symphony of Destruction, you know. Ba-dun-dun,
That's a pretty good.
dun-dun-dun,
I've never been much into
dun-dun-dun.
ringtones. I just like the standard. I use like an old. The ringtone I use is actually called an old phone, so it sounds like
Right.
an old phone.
The old school.
And then for everything else, I just keep it pretty much
Keep it simple.
by default because I can tell what it is. It's like
Yeah.
I can tell what it is by the way it sounds.
You know, I think my first smartphone, I had spent so much time, everybody had their own ringtone and special picture that would show up, you know, when they called. Like, everybody had a song that I would think diligently about. It's like, oh, you know what, this would be the perfect song for their ringtone. And it's like, nowadays, I just don't fuck with that anymore, because who calls anybody?
Yeah, it's lazy. It's all text. And it's just a notification. It's just
Anthony
a
Perry,
beep.
I think I posted to Forensic Ferret, and he goes, LOL, somebody tell me what this is. I am super interested, but I have a group of 50,000 people plus, and I have to know what the discussion group is about.
Listen,
And-
Anthony, post it up to your page or don't. We don't care. Quit bothering us. We're in the middle of a podcast, okay?
Right,
I
but-
love you, brother. I love you. I'm not trying to be rude about it, but either post it or don't. It doesn't matter. You probably-
Science and technology is our premise. I would say.
Your page would love what we're gonna do here tonight, so I think you should post it, but I can't tell you what to do, brother. Either post it or don't. But leave
Right.
us alone. We don't want to talk about it.
Unless you want to talk about the show.
Yeah, if you want to come on, I'll Skype you in if you want to talk about it. But
Right.
you know,
Anthony, do it.
yeah. We've only got a few 100,000 people watching on YouTube right now. Facebook Live is a little low right now, but you know, you do what you want to, Anthony.
All right, so what do we got? Are we going to
You
do a
do
Jason
you.
Silva?
No, I want to stay on this topic of what computers used to be able to do. Like,
Right.
you know, back in the day, in the 90s, you used to be able to look up information. You know, like the World Wide Web first came up, and you're connected to other computers, but your computers couldn't really be used to like stream video and stuff. That's
Right.
like in the last 10 years where that came around.
It was that
Remember-
storm phone that you had.
Netflix was originally like a DVD delivery service, right?
Right.
And Netflix has been able to reinvent themselves a few times and stay ahead of the curve, and now they're killing it.
They used
Right.
to be kind of like Redbox, right?
Yeah, except through the mail, right? I don't think they ever had like physical locations. I think it was all like my buddy Doug was big into.
Kind of like GameFly.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what Game
Yeah.
Fly is, but they
I think they send you video games.
Right. But just the way you get your media anymore. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, I was at the dump the other day, and there was boxes and boxes of fucking like old VHS tapes and like fucking cassette tapes, and
Yeah.
fucking Terry had to grab them and throw them in the truck, man, because
They've got some hoarding issues.
yeah, but you know, it was really cool shit. All my favorite movies were in there. It had like fucking just all the best movies, you know.
Remember the Commodore 64?
Yeah.
You know, VIC 20?
Yeah.
Remember the coolest thing you
Atari
could do?
2600.
The coolest thing you could do is get your name to keep running the screen. Go, hey,
Yeah.
check this out.
Yeah. You
Run.
type. I remember it was like type and then quotes MJ Adelman quote, and then that was line 10, and then line 20 was return to line 10,
Yeah.
and then line 3 was run, and you're like, look at it.
It's like
I'm a computer programmer.
it's like, is this all computers can do? Because it's boring as fuck.
Well, that was all they
You know
could
what
do
I'm
then.
saying?
Yeah, but you know what? All those kids that were like 12 to 13 when we were back there that were like geeking out on all this shit are making millions now.
With
Right.
our floppy disks?
Right.
Yeah.
Where am I going to stick this floppy disk?
I remember, like, okay, those were the 5 1/4 inch floppy were a little bit floppy, and then the 3 and I think they're 3 1/2 or 3 1/4 inch floppies. They weren't floppy though, but man, those things can store 1.44 megabytes on a floppy disk. You could fit
A fucking book.
10 books on this one floppy.
Or maybe
disk.
just one book.
Right. Or if you're like me, a 10-second video of Jenna Jameson, like, oh,
Right, which is great shit. I mean, that's
Now
all
you
you
got
need is
a
that 10
million books.
seconds.
yeah.
And you can just keep looping it while she's looping it.
Yeah, and then the iPods came out, and we're like, I can fit 800 songs on this
Yeah.
song, right here, 800 songs,
Yeah.
800 songs.
Remember the shuffle came out?
And it was like,
Shuffle
that
flips?
ain't nothing but the old shuffle. Dude, the first MP3 player I bought was about this big, and it was a Walkman. And I used to use it when I was working here downstairs making pizzas.
Wow, that's
And I could fit like 1,000 songs on it.
boy,
So
that takes me back, huh?
yeah.
All right, Weekly Jason Silva that was a fun little conversation, by the way. I enjoyed that, gentlemen.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you. Weekly Jason Silva is the search for meaning, and this will be Jason Silva dropping knowledge like only Jason Silva
Like
can.
Galileo dropped an orange.
So, there was a fantastic article by a guy called Henry Wisemeyer, and it was called "The Death of Awe in the Age of Awesome." And basically he was saying that the urge for these profound encounters with something else, with otherness, the sustenance of the new, has become a new religion. He basically says, as spirituality wanes, experience is the new faith, and we are refugees from the mundane. This makes a lot of sense.
like to get
That
up and make a
faint
drink, but off the left,
disquiet,
you'll
that
leave it all by
hunger
yourself.
for Baudelaire's anywhere
He
haunts
listens to
our
podcasts all the time.
dreams. Alain de Botton famously said, "How pleasant to hold in mind through the crevices of our moods at 3 in the afternoon, when lassitude and despair threaten, that there is always an airplane taking off for somewhere. Baudelaire's anywhere. A wonderful book called Drugs and Travel in 20th Century Literature makes the same case. It basically says that drugs and travel are so discursively similar, they use the same motifs of mobility and transport because they're ultimately talking about the same thing. Hallucination means to wander in the mind, from the etymology of the word hallucinare. So you see, my friends, this desire for altering our perceptions, this desire for otherness, for the idealization of experience, for a virginal noticing of the sensate world, for a sense of first sight unencumbered by knowingness, is part of what it means to be human. That desire for an encounter with the mysterium tremendum e fascinosum pulls and beckons at us. It's F. Scott Fitzgerald notion of a transitory, enchanted moment when man must have held his breath, compelled into an aesthetic contemplation we might not understand nor desire, face to face with something finally commensurate to our capacity for wonder. Carl Sagan said, understanding is a kind of ecstasy. We are wonder junkies. And at the end of the day, my friends, I may utter these words in these moments of enraptured prose being, ecstatic articulation, enraptured vocalization, but at the end, Flaubert said human speech is but a cracked kettle on which we tap crude rhythms while we long to make music that will melt the stars. Melt the stars.
This is almost like what's it called? Like what? Some kind of theater he was doing there? Like I'm trying to think of the
Rants
word.
of a Madman, the Vagina Monologues.
No, dude, you know what? Can you imagine being his girlfriend? I bet he cries like 6 times a day. You know what I'm saying?
You really gotta hug him and really be into what he's into. But you know, he's on the right path. I love to hallucinate.
I would love to spend like 15 minutes with him a week.
He's a deep thinker for sure.
Yeah.
Like I first found out about him on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, like probably
Right.
8 or 9
That's
years
how I
ago.
got into it.
And at first, because I was like, I had gone to Missouri with my friend TJ Riddle, shout out TJ Riddle, to watch a fight. One of our buddies was fighting in a fight down there, so we went to go support him. And I'm trying to like load it up because I had like back then I had my phone, but I had to like play it, and then like I had this little thing that I could plug into my car that would like rebroadcast it over my radio.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to listen, and I'm like I was kind of like getting into it. And TJ's like, "This is dumb, man. Let's listen to something else." I'm like, okay.
What?
Well, I'm not gonna make him listen to it. He didn't want to.
Right, right.
You know.
Yeah,
we had just
you
watched
gotta
the
be in a
fight,
certain
so
kind
it
of
wasn't,
mood to
it
do
wasn't
that.
the right mind space
Yeah.
for him at the
Yeah.
time. Yeah. So anyway, shout out TJ Riddle. He's back in town. We should get TJ Riddle on the podcast.
That's cool. Let's do it. But I think that's one of the first things you shared with me on the internet too, and plus that stupid video, Lazy Sunday. You're like, hey, dude, watch this at least once a day. It'll make you a better person.
Yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to watch it once a day, but that was one of the first, I think, viral videos, and I actually saw that
Yeah,
live, and I
right.
was like, that's one of the, to me, that was one of the funnier things I've seen on Saturday Night Live in a
Yeah.
while at that time, because like Saturday Night Live kind of hit some lulls, and I get it, it's hard. Like
They
stand
nailed it right
comedy
there.
is not easy, and I'm a huge Saturday Night Live fan, and I watch all through all the shit, and like if you can get one good skit per episode,
Right.
it's worth it, right?
Yeah.
It's worth it. And that one was like the one that knocked it out of the park that week. And that was just like Adam, what's his name? Adam Sandberg? Andy Samberg. was not
Andy
even a
Samberg,
cast
yeah.
member at the time. He was what's called a
supplemental.
something, yeah. But he wasn't even a cast member. But I think they scooped him up after that. He had his project called, I think it's Lonely Island,
Yeah, he's got a group, a comedy group. It's kind of like a
sketch
is it,
comedy type thing, right?
Yeah.
Christy Newmister.
Have you heard of Broken Lizard?
Remember
They got
Christy
that.
Newmister?
Yes.
Shout out to Christy Newmister.
Let's get Christy on the podcast.
Anthony Jackson says, "What's up? Hey, cousin. Are you my cousin?"
Cuz?
Anthony Jackson. I can't see.
That's my
You know, it's like
Yeah, I
Oh.
don't think he's her cousin, but Anthony, I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just like, I can't really like.
no.
try to tell
Anthony
you.
Perry is the one that made the comment. the
Oh,
other
it's a
day.
different person. Okay.
Yeah.
Anthony
I'm sorry,
Jackson,
Anthony
that's
Perry.
my
We
cousin.
definitely
What
did.
up,
Oh,
cousin?
that's
Yeah.
your cousin.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Dude, a lot of Anthony.
But to go back to Anthony Perry, like I wasn't trying to be rude, but I mean I can't really take the time to try to explain to you what this is right
Right.
now. Either post it to your page or don't. Like,
Right.
And I don't. I'm sure you must have posted it to his group or whatever. But
Shit
Yeah.
or get off, right?
yeah,
But no, if you're the gatekeeper of your page, you don't
I
want to.
respect it, man. I'm
It's like you don't want to
either post
post
it or
a
don't.
conversation where a bunch of guys are jacking off on one another.
Hey,
and shit.
hey, hold up. We ain't doing that.
we're not. Dude, that was Christmas Eve.
We're
not gonna
science
go
and
back.
technology. That's our base, right?
Right. Okay, so this is a video, and I'm going to challenge, I'm not challenge you, I'm going to ask, I'm going to throw it up for debate whether this is real or not. So this is like, they call it like foreshadowing what happened to Jeffrey Toobin.
Dude, you know what? What if this was a theater group? It very likely could be, right?
It could be. It could
Right.
be an improv group, but I don't know. It's got kind of a real feel to it,
It
too.
does, but they're good. They're good. It's all natural.
It's also got a fake feel to it, too.
Dude, is this guy
Sure.
Anthony
Let's
too?
just start off with
So
January.
he thought he turned it off.
Now, consumer spending is up. If you look at the graph there below.
Page are we on?
I'm sorry, we're on page 12, the second graph from the top.
Okay.
So
Can
he
you
comes
see
in
your
with lotion
camera
and
on?
Kleenex.
All right, so if you look, we're 0.15% higher than 2019. We started this quarter off at 2.75%.
Holy shit.
Daniel.
The guy bottom left is laughing at you.
Daniel.
Daniel. Call me. Oh my god. Call Daniel. Stop. Call Daniel. Stop. How do we turn this scene off?
Wow.
We can't. Oh, hell no. Daniel. Oh my god. Daniel is the host.
Dude, you know what? He could be rubbing lotion on his feet. You know what I'm saying? He didn't-
I'm pretty
he couldn't
sure
see
that was
anything.
kind of, that must have been like an improv troupe or something, but very, very well done.
I know,
Very
dude,
well
we
done.
should do something like that. Whoa, I guess we are.
Okay.
You know?
Hold on a second. Now, you do know that every time that you have a laptop in front of you and there's a little camera there, that someone is watching you. I mean, you've already shared or gave access to so many different people to use your camera, your phone, make your phone calls, go through all your contacts.
You know what I do? I'll take a booger and put it right on the fucking, right on the camera.
If that's true though, Steve, somebody has got hours and hours of footage of me beating off and I
Watching
don't care.
porn?
I don't
Well,
care.
and you're
I don't
not
care.
the only one. I mean, and it's so much. It's like, what are you doing in front of your computer that you think that no one is watching?
Yeah.
You know,
Right?
he apparently thought that he turned it off, and hey,
Yeah, I
shame
mean,
on him.
there's a little bit of a problem with like, okay, they're in the middle of a meeting and all of a sudden I don't know, maybe he thought he turned, like, I don't know how the setup is. I'm not trying to pick it apart, but
Well, we all been there.
oh yeah.
We've all been there.
I thought it was beautifully done. I mean, either way, if it was real, it was funny, and even if it was
Yeah.
staged, it was
And
funny as
they
well.
didn't try to do too much with it. They just kind of like, they set it up real quick and then they delivered the payoff and
Right.
they didn't try to like explain too much and they didn't try to go too long with it. Like, I think it
You
was
know what the payoff should have been? Is like, if he fucking pulled out this like huge cock and like they gotta blur it out, but all the girls' faces go. You know what I mean?
No,
That would have been the payoff.
the better payoff would have been like no nudity. Let's not do any of that. But then all of a sudden,
No,
like,
you blur it out.
all of a sudden, like the camera lens has got like cream over it. Like you just kind
Right.
of like get whited out.
Right?
Or 9 months ago, that dude was the asshole in the fucking meeting over in
Right.
the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Jeffrey's making it uncomfortable here in the meeting room.
And dude, we could meme it.
Jeffrey, now it's all on Zoom, so you can do that at the Zoom.
Right.
meeting.
Dude, we could meme it. Whitezilla becomes company hero, and it's like they show him like wearing this like fucking pimp jacket and shit. But I'm saying after he pulls the huge cock out, because
It's kind of a
I mean,
non sequitur.
I
think though, from what I've heard, Jeffrey Toobin is actually a really nice guy.
I like to
huge cock.
keep my public masturbation at home, private.
No, we blur it out.
Yeah,
We're
that's
not.
what
We're
I
not. I'm just saying it's speculation. It's like it's
Look,
off. It's off-screen porn.
I don't put my masturbation out there. I have a group of like 50 to 60 close friends that we share that with each other. But,
Right.
I mean, that's it, man. It doesn't go anywhere else. It's
Right.
a circle.
Yeah,
Tight
yeah.
circle.
It's a circle, tight
Yeah.
circle.
Circle.
Circle of trust.
Yeah.
Circle of crust.
You know, I hope not.
Did you hear they asked Mike Tyson what he thought was going to happen when Logan Paul fights Floyd Mayweather?
He's gonna be the eighth.
I did
I
hear
wasn't sure
that,
sure what
and
F
it's
was,
the
though.
exact same thing I thought.
Yeah, I think Mike Tyson says what's on everybody. What's on
Logan Paul,
everybody.
Floyd Mayweather. Let's talk about it. 2021's a couple months out.
Floyd's gonna beat his fucking ass. But it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. He's gonna fight back, though.
It's great.
He's gonna fight
Is he
back.
sitting there with Jake Paul?
That's Logan Paul.
Or Logan? Is that his
Paul,
brother?
Logan Paul is sitting right there. No, Logan Paul's the one that's going to fight Floyd.
Okay.
And he's sitting right there in the room with Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just being honest, you know.
Just being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't disrespectful.
Play that again.
You want to hear it again?
Yeah, I want to see the look on his
What's S?
face when Mike says that. You know, like
What's
are,
S?
are you going to argue with Mike?
No, just not getting it.
All right, close that window, so give me a minute.
Hey, no problem. You know, would you argue with Mike?
No. I would. Everything Mike said, I'd just be in the habit of going, yes, sir.
Just laugh hysterically and hope he didn't find you offensive?
Right. Did you know what I do? If it's like, check this out. This would be a cool way of dying. Fucking walk up to Mike Tyson with a fucking pigeon in your hand, and fucking just twist it.
21's Logan Paul, Floyd
See what Mike
Mayweather.
does.
Let's talk about it. 2021's a couple months out.
Floyd's gonna beat his fucking ass. But it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. He's gonna fight back, though.
That's kind
He's
of
gonna fight back.
I think that's being promoted.
You know what? I think Mike Tyson is the next, like, what was his name? Fucking King?
Don King?
Don King, yeah. It's like Mike's doing it now. He's a very intelligent man. And, that last,
Don King was a piece of shit. I
Dude,
mean,
you know
I
what?
think Mike Tyson, like, if he ever started, like, promoting boxers and shit, I don't think he would rape them like Don King.
dude, you know what? When he becomes a billionaire, I guess I bet he giving, like, all of his shit away. And, like, fucking really helping people out. Like, fucking, like,
Roy Rambo, what's up?
what's up?
What
with
up,
Rambo?
Roy? Shout out.
Hey, Christy Newmister, would you be interested in coming on the podcast? If you're still watching, I'm sure she probably tuned out.
Said hell to the no.
No.
She had a sister. What was her sister's name?
Teresa?
Teresa. Dated Don Thorpe for a long time. Right?
I don't remember.
Seems like it.
I think these are older kids.
I think she was, Teresa was in your...
You know what?
Yeah, Teresa was.
Fucking, I'm gonna share it to all the flat Earth groups because they're fucking good people.
That makes sense.
You know, everything positive internet.
Yeah.
Is Earth flat? No. Right?
It looks
You
flat
can't-
to me. I mean,
Does it look flat from space?
is it
though?
perception reality?
You don't see the curve?
You know what? The only way I could argue that is that this is everything's a hologram, and it's actually hologram would be information, so it would be displayed in a two-dimensional group of numbers, and so that's the only way I could argue flat Earth with the knowledge I have of it. But if somebody from Flat Earth wants to come on and argue my brother again about the flat Earth, that'd be cool. That was a good episode.
We're not debating flat Earth again.
Okay.
Unless we get somebody who actually, if we actually vet them and they actually know what they're talking about, maybe.
Right.
But
The flat Earth
Tommy
experience.
Whitmerell, nice kid. He just really didn't have any facts.
What'd you expect him to do? Like pull out a level and be like, "Yep, right there. Look at that."
Well, he told us he was going to come on and convince us that the Earth was flat, and then about like 20 minutes into the debate, he's like, "Look, I'm not here to convince you." I'm like, "Well, that's kind of why you're here.
Yeah, right.
That's kind of exactly why we brought
Right.
you on."
What
You know
was his best argument?
That his best argument was like,
About the ship mass disappearing into the horizon or something?
no, his best argument was about
Gravity?
if you get on an airplane and you fly around the world, why don't you ever flip upside down or something like that?
Oh.
I think it was the best argument because I'm like, I don't even know how to respond to that.
Yeah, why don't you? Probably because it's so
because
gradual.
you're not flat, you're level
Right.
the whole time.
It's not like
right?
you're passing a point and flipping over.
Right. The airplane is continuously level But
Right.
anyway, I'm not gonna get into it.
Yeah.
So there was
It's orbiting.
That's good though. That's good though.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's good because it's like it's such a stupid premise. I'm like, I don't know how to
Right.
I don't know how to respond to it.
Right.
It's like, boom, and he should have just dropped the mic and went with
I
that.
think he did. I think he did.
Like,
He was
boom,
like,
this is
oh,
my
shit.
thing.
Well, now I was like,
And my proof is the fucking video of like a toilet flushing in fucking Australia. It's going backwards.
Whoa.
Now! Now!
Bam.
all right. So we had an explosion
Supposed to Tommy Withrow for that
in
comment.
Nashville,
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
crazy, man.
right?
Right?
We got video of it here.
I
Hit the light. Go back a little bit since Austin was a little slow with the light.
So this guy exploded himself and apparently was telling everybody to get away because he only wanted to kill himself.
yeah, he was playing music and he was had a warning going through a loudspeaker saying in 15 minutes there was going to be an
Wow.
explosion. So he had given everybody time to clear the area.
Dude, so do you think this guy wants, who did Walking in Memphis? Who did that beautiful song? Somebody's gonna write a really fucking cool song about this, aren't they?
Kind of doubt it.
Exploding in Memphis?
All right. So this guy,
This was Nashville.
and they're
Oh, yeah, of course, Nashville, Tennessee, the other music mecca. I
the
guess.
most recent thing that I've heard about this is they're trying to figure out a motive, and I think Steve had the best quote about like what the motive could be, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. It's 2020.
Right. Do you need a motive?
I mean, the guy probably lost
How
his
many
job.
motives is there?
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you lost your job, lost your family, your house, lost a loved one due to the Rona. I mean, just pick one. And if not, you could stick your hand out and touch somebody that's been affected by it. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
So has it been confirmed nobody else died from this? It was just like shit.
I think it was just him.
I think it was him, but I think there was like one or two other injuries. I'm not 100% certain.
I mean,
I mean, an explosion that big, it'd be kind of surprising if there was not another injury.
right. Dude, you know what? My prediction is right now that somebody's gonna create a badass song about this.
You said that they said
Yeah.
that they felt the shock wave a couple towns 40 and 45 miles away.
What was it? Was it like fertilizer or something, or what?
I don't
That's
think
what
we
they're
know at this
speculating.
point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's usually what you can get enough of.
Yeah, it's because it's just nitrogen. Yeah.
It's mostly.
That's what was used in the Oklahoma City bombing.
Yeah, it was very similar. Very similar.
It was like pure, like fucking huge containers of just pure ammonia, right?
Yeah. And you want to know something, and I may be misquoting, but the governor of Tennessee said something, and it's like that this was affecting the small businesses down there. Now, granted, it might be, but so are all these damn government shutdowns. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I believe all the businesses pretty much were closed up, and that's why it was, like Austin said, a lot easier to get people out of there and stuff like that. I mean,
And why there was no other injuries or
Exactly.
deaths or whatever. But yeah, I think what we're seeing right now, and I'll go ahead and say it because I give zero shits, but California has been on the strictest lockdown. Well, California
doubt
or New
about
York,
it.
and their cases continue to spike. They
Right.
continue to rise, and I think there's even data and studies to support this. Is that the lockdowns are not the way to go, like with the coronavirus, because most of the transmissions, they're not with like outside dining or even really, to be honest with you, inside dining, which you can do at social and safe distances. Most of the transmissions are within your own house.
Right.
70%, I think, is what I heard.
Yeah.
But you know, they just throw numbers out there. But I did
And
hear
Bukaki films.
exactly. I did hear a testimony of a guy saying that he was flying into California.
For
okay?
a Bukaki film?
May or may not have been.
Right.
But he was flying into California. He said
I've
he
heard
had
this
a
one.
meal
Yeah.
on the plane with somebody sitting right next to him. When he gets to California, he
My
can't
High
have
Club.
a meal
Yeah.
next to somebody 8 foot apart.
Yeah.
What's the difference here?
Well-
What's wrong here?
The biggest problem is the inconsistencies. Like we watched that video of the lady that had her bar. You know, she set up this beautiful outside
Right.
area because they told her you can have outside dining, and then they shut her down. And then like 2 or 3 days later, all of a sudden there's a movie set, like with the tents that look exactly like hers, and that was okay. And I get it. Okay, so maybe they're like taking everybody's temperatures, they're doing all that. But exactly, the movie set is greasing the palms of of California and Governor Newsom and all those fucking ass clowns.
And this girl who had staked
Why
everything.
did they, you know, somebody should be on point where they're like, why don't we hire some of these small restaurants that are shut down to cater our fucking movies that, like, you know,
Right.
and in that way we
Right.
can help out the people who are suffering instead of like just, you know, and I'm sure it's because of corporate contracts and all that shit and unions and shit. They're like, oh, we
It's just people
we
covering their
provide
own
all the
asses,
meals
yeah.
for the Hollywood elites, and
Right.
that's our union contract and all that shit. But
Well,
anyway.
you know, the government's already bailed out the air businesses before. You know, all the planes and
the airlines,
the airlines, the
things that are
Delta.
too big to fail.
And so now, because I mean, does it make sense that we can't go to bars or restaurants, but you can fly any fucking where you want?
Yeah.
You know, and speaking of, there was excuse me, an 18-year-old med student that flew to the Cayman Islands, and she did not quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she's a medical student. She should have known better.
She
And-
did know better.
And the Cayman Islands have had like 600 cases of corona and only 2 deaths.
Right,
I mean,
right.
they're doing it right.
Yeah.
And then you're bringing in outside things.
And you know what? I guess they told her that she could wear the mask originally during the Bukkake scene, but then when she got there, they told her she's gonna have to take it off, or she's not gonna get her $285.
Interesting.
Yeah.
At least
I
that's
mean,
what I heard.
You know, and let's talk about you know, Gavin Newsom and Eric Garcetti in California, who were telling these bars that they could have people, and this was a couple months ago when they did actually allow it for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. But when people would sit down, they had to put on their masks, and then like they could take a bite of food, they could pull their mask down, they had to put it right back up. But
Now, I have seen some people that actually split their mask so that they can eat or drink while they're wearing their mask, which
it's exactly like not wearing a mask.
exactly that was my point.
I wonder if we're all gonna be in like hamster balls eventually. You know, that have our own like climate.
I just
that's a
think
good
we
idea.
realize now,
You
though,
just
like
got a glory hole, and you can have like.
nobody ever thought who is the mayor or who the governor really matters. It doesn't affect our lives.
Yeah.
But these fucking ass clowns that they can flex their political muscle and like shut down entire communities and ruin lives, like it matters now, right?
Yeah.
It fucking matters.
Now
because
we just support our local government, and we can make the correct decisions,
Well,
not to
they-
persecute people.
California, they have no evidence that outside dining is any more dangerous than eating at home, and
Right.
they're shutting people down and they're
You
ruining
know,
people's lives.
have you ever seen that? I shared this graph with you guys, like where the majority of the Americans lived, and it's like there's a huge fucking area of red in California and New York and Chicago, but it's like there's a massive amount of people there, so they're gonna have to have different restrictions because there's just so many fucking people living within like a 300-mile range. It's like
Yeah, I
probably
know.
like a quarter of the United
I
States.
know how the population of the United States is spread out. I'm pretty familiar
Right.
with that. Yeah.
Right, it's like you don't see any red spots in like all throughout.
No, there's.
like Utah
But you're
and
like
shit.
you're like saying like there's this map that nobody knows about.
No,
Where
I'm
there's
just
these red
I'm
dots
just
and
saying it's
everything.
like there's a massive amount of people living in like a 300-mile range, or maybe it's like more like a 1,000-mile range. I don't know, but
No, if you're talking about like L.A. County, it's like
Right.
a few hundred miles. Yeah.
remember I
Or
live
not
in,
even a few hundred. Like probably 20 or 30 miles.
what's it Jeselnik? He'd open up in the Midwest with I live in California, like you wish you fucking could.
Not anymore.
Right. Not anymore. Even Joe's leaving.
He's left. He's been
Yeah.
gone for a couple months.
Yeah. He's got that. His new studio looks kind of like a
Tom's
spaceship.
leaving.
Yeah.
Uh,
Joe's taking everyone with him.
Joe said on his latest podcast that even Adam Carolla is leaving.
Even fucking
Which I haven't heard on because I listen to Adam Carolla every day. He hadn't said it, but he
Dude,
said Adam Carolla's leaving.
Fucking Andy Dick is fucking renting his garage behind his house so he can sleep in it on a water bed.
What?
Andy Dick, he's moving in with Joe. He's moving in with Joe Rogan in his garage, I guess. At least that's word on the street.
Is that supposed to
For
be
real? You didn't hear that?
No.
All right. Well, I'm in a different thread than you are, obviously.
Well, thankfully, back to talking about California, that video that we
Oh,
posted
fuck
about
that,
that lady that job was interrupted, her work
Yeah.
was interrupted and so forth. She was able to get some funding from a lot of people that felt her plight, you know.
Oh, dude, I bet that
Either she started to GoFundMe or somebody
somebody did
started
for
but-
her, yeah.
And I heard about it like a few days after we watched that video, and it was up to 300,000. So
Wow.
it's probably more than that now. I haven't
Yeah.
kept up with it, but
So she's benefiting from it. But you know,
Well,
what?
I
Maybe
hope-
she can open up 3 restaurants now after this shit's over. I don't know.
Well, hopefully
good for her.
she would share it with everybody who didn't go viral.
yeah,
and-
it should
and
have
do
been
that.
a fund for all the restaurants, maybe
Right.
in that neighborhood or that community.
That community.
Right.
I
That
think.
Right, that would've
were
been good.
being forced to be shut down.
And
Yeah,
she
I don't know
probably is doing it, because she seems like a good person.
She seemed like
She
a
was
good
so
person at
brokenhearted.
heart.
She said she was humble.
I mean, those titties were nice too, but I
Uh-huh.
mean, good. I mean, even on the inside, like not just the titties, but.
Tatas, yeah. Hey, what up?
Boom.
All right, what else we got to talk about, gentlemen?
Well, we covered a lot. We're on the coronavirus, so what about the anti-vax? Now, Austin said he's down with the vaccine.
Yeah, I'll take it. Fuck it.
I'm kind of on the fence about it. I'm not sure that I would. I mean, if my job meant that I had to have it, then I would definitely take it. You know, if it was that I thought that I would transmit something to someone, I would definitely look into
Okay,
taking it.
what if your job was a jizz mopper at Risky's?
All right, Austin, stop. Okay, so we're talking about the vaccine, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm definitely not an anti-vaxxer, but I want to know a little bit more about what the vaccine is, and there's a couple questions I need to know before I take it. Number one is, how long does the vaccine last? How long is it good for? What are the side effects? I forget what the other one was. But anyway, it's not that I'm an anti-vaxxer. I feel like I need to have more information before I'll
Right.
just jump in line to take it.
Right.
And I don't want to be labeled an anti-vaxxer, but you know what? It could have some long-term implications that we don't know about.
Right.
So I'm not just going to jump on board and just be the first to take it.
And plus, there's the new news of it mutating at a high rate, and it's like, how long is this vaccine that I'm putting into my body, which is risky?
Well,
It's
it's
like a
not. It's
2%.
not. I got to correct the factual record here. It's not mutating at a high rate, but there is some mutations. And I
Right.
got that video if you want to play it. You were going to say something.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say is that there is 374,999,999 more people that need it before I do.
Right.
Yeah.
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 So I can be on that last in line.
Right.
You know, I do think that all the nurses and frontline people,
First
that have it,
responders.
all
yeah.
the old folks over 65 years of age, you know, they should get it first.
Hey, I'm 50 now, but I'm not trying to boast, but I feel like
You're probably in the best shape, like I'd say within 10 years of your life.
no,
Like
I mean
last 10
I'm
years.
not in really good shape right now, but I do a lot of things to keep my immune system up. So
Yeah.
and forces that be in the universe, this is not a challenge, but I think I would be alright if I got
Right.
it. I think
Yeah,
I would be okay.
Right.
I don't want
Right.
to challenge that, but I'm pretty sure if I got it, I would make it out the other side. I don't know how bad it would be.
Yeah, people like
But-
getting the flu.
Yeah.
Well, and
You
that's
shit your pants a couple times.
and
Yeah.
like we talked about, that's kind of like getting the vaccine right there. So, you know, because
Yeah.
you're building your
True that.
immunity, and we're talking about herd immunity. So at that point, you've done your part. So I also wonder, what is the level that we're at already as far as how many people that haven't been tested, that maybe already have had it, that might be immune.
Mindy and I talk about this a lot, that we think we may have already gotten it and
Yeah.
didn't know. But who knows? Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, unless you go and have the test for that, right? The antibody test or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm not for our politicians. I get like Biden and Trump, they're over 70. You know, I get a lot of people in politics are over 60 and they may
Yeah.
be high risk. You guys should get it. But the younger politicians,
AOC jumped right in line to get it, didn't she?
the VP, you know, and
But she'll
again,
be president one day.
I know that you're
think
trying
she's
to ease, you know, saying, hey, no problem, I can get it, you can get it. But to me, that shows, hold on, I'm jumping line because
I
I'm
can
going
see it both ways, though. I can see both sides of that.
Yeah, some people might consider her a hero, and other people might consider her a villain. But fuck it, I mean, she seems to do what she wants to do.
what is there, like 565 lawmakers that make up and pass all the laws for all the millions of the rest of us, and for them to, you know, put billions and billions and billions of dollars into researching this and be like, thank goodness, hit me up now,
Yeah.
you know, of our money, you know, stand back, you know, you didn't have to take it, and
It seems to me like, okay, let's take this to the most extreme case.
Right.
Like, if I were king, I would be
Fine,
like,
rule the world.
hey, I want all my subjects to get vaccinated first. And then, once everybody's vaccinated, I will make sure that I'm safe. But I want to take care of my people first.
Right.
Now,
My
obviously,
guinea pigs.
we don't have a king. You know, we have
kind of like a food taster too, you know.
Yeah,
Hey, all you other guinea pigs go first.
Right.
yeah.
Hey, makes sense to me.
Don't have no flow no more.
Right.
Well, and that's another thing, you know, there's a lot of people out there that's anti, you know, politics and anti-politicians like me. But then they're jumping on the bandwagon that, okay, now that these politicians have been vaccinated, then they're saying, well, they're out in public, they're out doing this. Well, yeah, now they've been vaccinated.
Yeah.
They're at less risk. Now, are they still at risk for transmitting the virus? Is that what we don't know yet?
I think
Once
if you've
you've
been
been
vaccinated, probably after a couple days, you can't transmit it. And again, I'm not a doctor. I do play one on the Moon Club podcast every once in a while. But if you've been vaccinated, I would assume that you can't retransmit it. Don't know.
Yeah.
Here's a story I got though. Apparently, you were talking about mutations, and there has been a mutation. So, and if you
I think it's
about it,
gamma rays, right?
maybe, it might be a spider that bit Peter Parker.
It could have been a
It could-
radioactive
Yeah,
spider.
spiders. I think it's-
and run rhymes.
Humpty Dumpty fell down, this is hard times.
Jackie Nimble was nimble,
He was quick.
but Dan and Master anyway, Spain. Oh no! This is
Great
wrong.
fucking
This is
album.
the wrong video.
I kept pointing you to jump in.
I would have hopped in, but for some reason I just wasn't thinking fast enough. Dude, I was watching this
It
talk show
might
today.
be the whiskey.
I was watching this talk show today where they're like it was a bunch of women talking, and like they were all like 6 feet away from one another. But I swear to God, I think I saw this fucking little dog, cute as fuck, like jumping up on everybody's lap and looking them in the face. But you know, like I said, I could be wrong. Maybe I saw it in a dream of mine. Remember when dogs could kiss us all? Under the cover of darkness.
Don't they have a cleaner mouth than humans? I mean, I would
Probably.
still.
That's
Yeah,
what's always been said.
Yeah, because they lick their assholes and like you can't really.
Well, it's self-cleaning like in the oven.
Right. I wonder if you lick enough assholes as a human, you would develop those.
Is that
same,
just because it gets so hot in there that it just kind of like vaporizes everything?
right?
I thought I had a video about the mutation, but apparently I don't.
Yeah, I thought you did too.
Well, here's one where this must have been where I was looking.
You know what was crazy, what I heard, is that in China, they locked a reporter up who
Right.
kind of was leaking the whole Wuhan
Oh, yeah.
virus.
I've got that.
4 years.
You
Roll
know,
that beautiful beam footage.
I bet you're gonna see the embassies of the of the world hopping behind this and calling it injustice. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't lock up people that are spreading the truth. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a freedom of the press if you want a true democracy.
Not in China. Well, China's not a democracy. That's the reason why they can get away with that.
Oh, is that where it is?
They're communists. Yeah.
Okay.
It's in
Well, they
China.
can do whatever the fuck they want to.
Yeah.
But you know what? The people are not gonna let their government control them anymore. There's too much knowledge out there.
Well.
Oh, this I think this is the original video I was trying to find.
Oh, okay. So we'll back to the.
Back to
Yeah.
the business at
The
hand.
180 Russia's coronavirus death toll has
Nope,
been.
that wasn't it. That was about Russia.
She's all right to look at. Huh?
What was I looking for?
You were going to roll the footage about the young lady in China that they gave 4 years in prison because she was leaking information about the
Oh, she's spreading
Wuhan
a panic.
Chinese
Well,
virus.
you know what? Right now we need to panic.
Nothing to see here.
I'd say fucking call her a fucking hero. You know what I'm saying?
Right? I think so.
It's like she saw it before everyone. Stuck her neck out.
And one thing the point I brought up before the podcast too, is if these Chinese were working on this virus, how the hell come they didn't have a vaccine?
Yeah.
They probably do.
Well, and that would be the most sinister part of it, right? If they did.
Right?
这个是武汉人民医院的急诊科。
Wow.
37-year-old Zhang Zhang's first-hand accounts of what was happening at the epicenter of the virus back in February were widely shared on social media. But as is the case for several other citizen journalists in China, it's got her into trouble. Authorities feel they're being undermined by what they call inaccurate reporting.
就我拍了几张医院的病人的照片，然后国宝就突然发现，就在警告我说，你不要去这些地方。
把手机关了。
我
叫你把手机关了，你不信我就给你发火了。
你给我买火吧。
The former lawyer was detained by police in May. She was formally charged last month for sending false information on platforms such as WeChat, Twitter and YouTube. A court in Shanghai has found her guilty of picking quarrels and provoking trouble. Supporters have been met with tight security.
I came here to try and see her. I went there just now, but the staff told me it's not allowed, especially in a criminal case.
Ms. Zhang has maintained her innocence and since June has been on hunger strike to protest her arrest. Her lawyers say she is in poor health. Yvonne Yong, ABC News.
Okay, so this is a Chinese, like I guess, kind of like citizen reporter. Like she was putting,
Former lawyer.
WeChat, like she was putting it on like
Right,
Chinese social
right.
media because they don't have access to like the same social medias that we do. But she was documenting these cases of people like dying in hospital beds and stuff like this, and she's arrested and charged with causing trouble.
No, they're making her a martyr. You know what I'm saying?
No, that
No.
doesn't make sense.
Well, and the fact of the matter
Oh, without a
is,
doubt.
how is she a martyr?
She's sacrificing herself for the truth.
Yeah, I mean, they'd have to kill her. Which they
Well,
might
well,
do.
she's killing
Yeah.
herself.
But they said she was in poor health.
She'll be on their money in 10 years.
Because she is, back in July, went on a hunger strike.
Yeah.
She's going hungry. She don't
One of the best songs ever.
steal.
I mean, I put it in the top 20.
Yeah.
It's up there. It's definitely of Temple of the Dog's best song, right?
I don't know any other Temple of the Dog
Right.
songs.
Yeah, they got like a few.
They did a
I'm
full
sure they
album, right?
have a whole album, but that's the only one I could really come up with. All right, I got a few more things. There was this Native American man that was tased on a trail. I don't know, the video's not that good, but let's go ahead and check it out. It's like a 2-minute video.
At least he didn't get a blanket.
Since the Petroglyph
smallpox.
National Monument claims he was
point.
assaulted by a park ranger there over the weekend. He has even posted video that gives a glimpse of what he says was an unjustified tasing. Let's get to News 13, Stephanie Chavez. Stephanie?
This is the moment a Petroglyph National Monument park ranger
What the
began
fuck?
tasing Daryl House, a veteran who served
that's
in
his
the
dog.
Marines.
That is bullshit.
House says he was on his usual walk through the petroglyphs at the Piedra Mercado Trail with his dog Geronimo
I was there for prayer.
when he saw a large group of visitors on the trailhead. So he decided to cut through the blocked off area to maintain social distancing.
To avoid that group, I just cut across.
He says he's never had an issue going off trail before, but this time a ranger came up behind him and advised him to get back on the designated path. House says he complied with those orders, but the ranger began asking him for identification.
I don't want to ID myself.
That's when House says the ranger tased him.
I was holding my dog's throat. My dog got tased as well.
You don't have to ID yourself.
He felt everything, and I ended up dropping him.
Today,
Bullshit.
House says he's still trying to wrap his mind around the situation, but he can only come up with one reason why the ranger reacted the way he did.
Power, dominance, to keep me in order. That's what authorities have been trained to do, to keep people like me in order, to make the Indian look crazy, make them look insane.
House says the incident won't stop him from returning to the monument.
I am going to continue doing my prayers, going off trail, without permission, without consent, because that's my right.
All right, whenever I see something like this, I always have questions because my first question is what happened before that video started?
Right.
Because he had somebody there recording, so you have to think that he was like probably wanting this to happen.
Right.
So And then, like, when you think about it, like, he's on the ground yelling like a madman, and you're like, oh, you're not in that much pain. Like, this is something that was coordinated. This is something, in my opinion, this is something that he wanted to try to get on camera to make him look like
Seems like it,
he was being bullied.
Because
or
where's the
being-
safest place to be? Walking off trail in the desert.
Yeah. And then
You got hurt.
they did kind of set it all up with like, yeah, I was just going off trail. I was trying to social distance.
I complied.
Yeah, but I don't know.
There's so much that's not there.
Yeah, there's too much.
I agree. That's sort of
Steve, what do you think?
it's suspect.
Well, I hate to see anybody get tased like that, you know, and I do agree that in this day where people put a badge on, they automatically think it puts them up a couple levels.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, because we all put our pants on the same way and we all gotta go home and they gotta take that badge off and be a human being. And I think to MJ's point, you don't know what happened to escalate that situation, and we may never know it. But does somebody that's holding a dog, and a cute little dog, by the way, what was that, like a peekapoo or something?
I don't know. You
Little-
could have done that with me and Lucy.
Little poodle.
You could have done that with me and Lucy.
Well, you
for
wouldn't
fun.
have been holding Lucy.
No, I
like
wouldn't have
that.
needed to.
But he said that the dog got tased as well.
Yeah, the dog looked like it was fine.
You know?
The dog was running around trying to lick his face. Like, the dog had no idea what was
The
going on.
dog did not protect its
I
master.
think the telling thing is, like, you had somebody there recording it. Like, I think you were looking
It
for
seemed
this to
produced.
happen. Yeah, it kind of seemed produced.
We'd
But
like to know a little bit more about
it's really hard to make judgment because he was so theatric about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But as a Native American whose dog's name is Geronimo, maybe give him a pass if he wants to go off trail, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, in the day of age of Black Lives Matter, and granted, we're changing the name of a few baseball teams and a few football teams, but what
Right.
about the Native Americans? I mean, they really got fucking crapped on, and still to this day, not too many people is holding them up
Right.
and saying, hey, what about them, you know?
What about me?
I mean, I think I got
Fair.
1/32.
I've had enough, now I want my share, can't you see?
Reparations, is that what you're talking about?
Reparation of peace and nation. Damn, I got the nerve. Another brother that said, if I survive, we want too much. My people plus the nines, I don't think I even double dutch.
Man, that sounds like a real puzzle.
PE in the house, you know it.
But, so, I mean, it's a very touchy situation, and the fact that he was Native American, and everybody is gonna bring race into anything that happens anymore. You know, that's one thing that we talk about, is that we want to end racism, but you always bring race in the conversation to talk about racism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's definitely a certain element in our population that, I hate to say it like this, but they're race traders. Like, they need to keep the topic of race in the conversation because they trade in that. Like, they want there to be divisiveness. They want there to be, you know, problems so that they can profit off of, you know, Al Sharpton.
What do you think
Jeffrey
the next
Jackson.
thing would be? If racism was, take it off the table, there was no more racism, what would the next thing be? To
Love.
divide
It should be love.
everybody?
Oh, no,
Well,
I-
what I'm saying is to divide everybody, because, like, to your point, that's not exactly what some people want, you know what I mean?
No, some people don't want that. I would say, okay, and I say it like this, and this is kind of I think it's the wrong way to look at it, but the way I say it is there's so many good reasons to hate people, but race isn't one of them.
It'd be social class next, right?
Well, I think it would just be like, if you're an asshole, I would hate you.
Unless
But
you
it's
don't like
because
dogs.
of-
Oh, no, I'm
like,
not in.
like Martin Luther King said, I'll judge you on the content of your character. That's it. Like, if you're an asshole, I'm going to call you an asshole. But because you're an asshole, not because you're black, white, green, red, whatever, just because you're an asshole.
I don't know about green though. I don't know if I could date a chick that was, you know, like dark green.
I don't know, man. Have you ever seen William Shatner get with that
Star
green?
Trek?
Yeah, that green girl in Star Trek. That was pretty
Right.
hot.
He
That was
got
pretty
with
hot.
pretty much every alien.
Oh,
he
Rebecca
could.
Romaine Stamos. Isn't she like a green character?
So, also, you sent me this thing, top 10 Hubble photos of the year. Yeah, I'm not sure this translates into the podcast, but we'll try it.
Space.
The final frontier.
Year after year, Hubble telescope's views are unparalleled. Here's one. 30 years of exploration.
Is that a nebula?
There's a picture. Cloud nebula. A black hole.
Hey there.
Dusty shadow. I don't know. Austin, did you have anything to say about this?
Is that a stripper name? Dusty Shadow?
No, I was just
Not yet. It should be.
earlier we were talking about Kepler's going to be put up this year.
Okay. But this is what you sent me in the group.
Yeah. I think they're beautiful.
That looks like a butterfly.
Yeah.
Can't even expand it.
Dude, you know what we should go out with?
But yet the universe is constant.
Let's go out with patterns. Jason Silva.
Well, I still got a couple more things.
You want to double down on the Jason Silva?
Yeah.
Interesting thing going on in Spain. They're going to keep a registry of people that refuse to take the vaccine.
Such a mouth.
You see about this? You hear about this?
Should I come flights?
Yeah. I mean, anytime we play video, sure.
In deaths from the coronavirus, the government has announced new measures. It plans to create a registry to track those who refuse to be vaccinated.
El registro COVID-19 es un requisito y una medida de prudencia. Pues se toma nota de esto.
People who will be offered medical therapy that refuse any kind of reason will be noted in the registry and their medical file. So there is no error in the system of not giving that person the opportunity to be vaccinated.
I thought this was a fucking stick song.
Officials say data from the registry won't be made public, but it will be shared with other EU member states.
That's exactly
The
what the Nazis
coronavirus
said.
pandemic has hit Spain especially hard. Nearly 1.9 million people have been infected. A new poll found that 28% of Spaniards say they won't be vaccinated. In the capital, many expressed their skepticism about the new vaccine.
Prefiero que se vacunen otros antes. No, la verdad es que no me fío nada de la vacuna.
I feel like whenever you talk about Spaniards, you should be talking about a dog breed, though.
Yeah.
But, you know what? We are in...
Or a good porn star.
We're in a completely different space than we were 1 year ago. At the end of last year, we're in a completely different space. And I think it's a dangerous time. Like, it can go this... I think, you know, if we're in a time where shit can go south really quick, I think it's right now.
Yeah, I think the worst
Go
is
off the
still
rails,
ahead.
yeah.
Yeah.
Make fucking 2020 seem like a fucking dream. You know?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully in a perfect world, I'll see you polite.
I'll be Kevin Costner.
Hopefully we can recover from this. Hopefully these vaccines start kicking in and we can get back to like a normal life. But now we've got mutations. I mean, who knows what the fuck is going on? Like, it just feels like society is kind of crumbling right now.
Right.
Heal the world, make it a better place.
All right, that's about all I got. Should we end this shit?
What time is it?
Shut her
It's
down,
7
Mike.
o'clock. 7 o'clock.
Shut her down,
Usually the
Mike!
time we go out on.
Yeah.
But let's remind everybody to click that like button, subscribe.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And then also, we got the Moonies coming up. We haven't even mentioned the Moonies.
Good
We're having
point.
a special show on Thursday.
Thursday there will be a New Year's Eve episode where we're gonna do our first ever award show. There'll be at least 10 categories and 10 trophies to be handed out called the Moonies, and we have some ideas. There'll be the best podcast guest, the best co-host, the
Best comment of the year.
yeah, all that shit. And
Lunatic.
we will hand out trophies, and we'll also do predictions that night. And plus, we'll read predictions that we had from last year, where it was me, you, Mindy, and Bailey, who is AKA Matisse Love. So.
And we'll get drunk as fuck.
Tune in Tuesday. I'm thinking it's gonna be 6 o'clock, but we'll probably make a post on the Moon Club podcast page because it's gonna
invite
also,
Matisse on?
Huh? No, that's too many people. It's also probably gonna matter about how when the Two Bears Live podcast is coming on, because I definitely want to watch that because they're gonna show the video about how Tom Segura fucked himself up and broke his legs, his arm, his hand,
right.
like somehow playing basketball, he basically maimed himself like one half of his body, which I don't know how that makes sense, but I want to see that video. And I
White
wanna
man
see
can't
that.
jump.
Yeah, especially when they're as heavy as him. But tune in Thursday, Moon Club Podcast, end of the year episode, Moonies and predictions, and we love you people.
Yep.
And
Peace out. Much love.
like, share, comment, and tell 3 friends about the Moon Club Podcast. And if you do,
And tell them to tell 3.
we'll come over and we'll give you a big fat kiss right in the mouth.
Oh yeah.